Hi everyone, welcome back to Phonology. My name is Bella, and behind the camera, Danny.
Hello.
And we got a request from a friend that they wanted an easy cake recipe. So today we're going to be making one of my favorites, banana bread. So we're first going to start by sifting our dry ingredients, which is 1 cup superfine sugar, 1 1/2 cup flour, and for this recipe, it's one of my favorites because 1, I love bananas, and 2, it's super simple and it is a really fun gift to give to your friends for any occasion. Then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon salt. And then 1 teaspoon baking soda. Okay. Now, since we've sifted our dry ingredients now, just gonna mix them around with our spatula. Not too hard because you don't want everything to spray all over. And just get it mixed in well. Then, we're gonna take our mixer bowl and we're gonna add in our wet ingredients now. So that would be our 2 eggs, and I would normally crack them in a different bowl, but since I'm putting them in first and they're not mixed in with each other, I can easily just grab them out. Grab the extra shell out if any is fallen in. And then we're gonna add in our mashed up bananas. Now I add in 3, but just to show you, I've mashed up 2 and then I've left 1 out just to show you guys that. So they're pretty well mashed up. Now I like my bananas darker because they give more flavor. So this is about the type that I use, maybe a little bit darker. So if your bananas are pretty dark now and you don't want to make banana bread right away, I'd suggest that you take the peel off and freeze them so then you can have them for later. That's usually what I do when my bananas are dark. And I usually pack them in 3 peeled so then I could directly have them ready for banana bread. So now I'm just going to mash these up. So this banana bread recipe, like I said, is the easiest I know, and since I love bananas, this is probably gonna make any really good cupcakes. You could really do it in anything. So now that I have my bananas and my 2 eggs mixed in, we're now just going to mix these for a little, and then while it's mixing, we're going to melt our butter. Now since I have a big mixer, I've always dreamed of having one, and because my dad, now I have one. You don't have to have one, you can just use your normal mixer. So we're going to put it on to mix, and then we're going to melt our butter for about 30 to 45 seconds. So I'm just gonna stop this early because it's getting bubbles, and that's my butter. So my butter is melted, and I stopped it because it was starting to get bubbles. So it's like bubbly, pretty liquidy. So now we're gonna add in the rest of our wet ingredients, which is, again, 1/2 cup butter. My butter. And you wanna be careful with the butter. You wanna mix it in really good because if you wait for it, like go to the bathroom or something and you leave it, it's gonna eventually cook the eggs. So I just put butter in to mix it in, just to have it in with the eggs and bananas. So now the last ingredient of our wet ingredients is our vanilla. So vanilla, it's optional, but I like to add vanilla because it gives a little bit extra flavor. And with vanilla, I would definitely recommend that you use the best vanilla you can find. I use organic pure bourbon vanilla extract. So now we're just going to add in 1/2 teaspoon. And I pour it over something just in case it overflows. I don't want it to overflow in the batter. Then we're just going to let the vanilla mix in, and then we're going to add in our dry ingredients. So now we're going to add in our dry ingredients, which we mixed in a separate bowl. You're going to add about 1/2 just to get it started. So we're going to keep on mixing until our dry ingredients have mixed in well with the wet ingredients. And then we're going to add in the rest of our dry ingredients, and then you have your batter. just to make sure, we're just going to scrape down our bowl. And we're also going to scrape down our attachment. Mix it for about 15 more seconds, and then we're going to pour it into our cake pan. So you can technically overmix this batter, and it's when it gets bubbly, but it doesn't really matter when you overmix it because it still tastes the same. It's still the nice, moist cake. So we're going to scrape down our attachment to get the last bit of batter out. And at this point, your batter should be pretty runny. So it's a pretty runny consistency. It's chunky because of the bananas. So now we're just going to pour it into our cake pan. And like I said, you could do it to anything really. It could be cupcakes. It could be many layers of cake. It doesn't have to be bread or whatever. So this banana bread, I haven't tried with other fruits, but you could try it, see what happens. So I make this for a lot of different occasions, for birthdays, for holidays, for really anything. And I make a lot of banana bread, so when you have your ingredients, like I said, really take the time to find the best quality ingredients. It doesn't have to be just for the vanilla. It has to be high quality flour. Flour really matters. Sugar, definitely. Eggs, not as much. But definitely the vanilla needs to be high quality. So I always like to taste my batter. And I think it's pretty good, so you can, of course, always add more, salt, sugar to your likings. And then we're going to put this in the oven. At 375 for 50 minutes, 50. I'll see you in 50 minutes. Okay, so we have our banana bread, just came out of the oven. And now we're going to put it onto a wire rack so it can cool down. you wait for it to cool down, put powdered sugar on top, and you have your beautiful banana bread. So the cake has cooled down a little, so we're gonna put some powdered sugar on top. And you have made your beautiful banana bread.